So we have with us today Mr. Calvin Bucket Allen and Mr. Truman Newman, part of the group More Buckets Basketball Academy. So we want to learn more about More Buckets today, and we also want to learn more about you gentlemen. So we'll start with you, Bucket. Tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Well, Calvin Allen. Everybody call me Bucket. I'm known as Bucket around here. Born and raised here in Person County. Went to Helene Elementary, Southern Middle School, and finished at Person High School. Graduated from Person High School. I played 1 year of basketball in college. After that, I blew my knee out, came back home. Next thing you know, I was raising a family.
That's how I go.
That's how it goes.
That's how I go. My name is Truman Newman. My mama name is Gladys McGee. My daddy, he passed in 2016. His name was Truman Newman. He from out there in Cluster Spring. I was raised in the Bowmantown area of Roxborough. That's out there on Mayo Lake, around Bethel Hill Charter School. Bowmantown is a road, but to me, it's like a little community in itself. That's where I learned that's where I came up. I guess I say learn how to play ball, got a passion for basketball, and here we are.
All right, so give us a brief overview of what More Buckets is. We're going to get into details later, but give us a brief overview.
More Buckets is it's a skills academy to develop and enhance kids' basketball skills, but more so we're trying to tap into mentorship also, and just keep them on the right path, man. It's so many things that's taking focus, from kids. They're pulling here, pulling there, but we just want them to focus on something, and basketball, that's some way we can get through to them, and that's our playing field right there. We're just trying to get through them through basketball any way we can, and just try to have them just have a positive outlook on life, what life is supposed to be like, you know what I mean? And just basically being big brothers to them.
Yeah, man, for me, it's pretty much this Bucket vision. Like Bucket had the vision to take it where we taking it right now. It's more like we got a common bond, not just because obviously we from Roxborough. I'm older.
Right.
So how I used to be, I played ball. My first year was in 10th grade, and that was Coach Charles Dacus. That was his first year. So I was Coach Dacus, who was the current coach at Person. My age group was like his first team. So that was my first year playing. I played 10th grade JV. He was the JV coach. 11th and 12th grade year, I played under Coach Ronnie Russell. I think Coach Mike Kincaid was there. I think he was an assistant coach. And I think that might have been around the time Coach Brown, I call him Coach Brown, his name Darkari. I think he had came from Fayetteville to Roxborough right out of college. But how it happened, in the summertime, we used to all come back. The older kids would come back from college or whatever they was doing. They'll come back and everybody met at Person High School. We played in the summertime. So that's kind of where, where me and Bucket kind of formed a friendship. And just from there to now, we just always kind of spoke, and we always kicked it because he an Allen. So let's just go ahead and break it down. If you from Roxborough, you know all about the Allens. Right. You know all about Soul City. Yeah. They had one of the biggest parties that ever come through Roxborough, and it was about 4 or 5 different surrounding counties. Everybody, and the crazy thing about it, they fed everybody. Yeah. You came out there, they didn't care how many plates you got. For free. They didn't care how much fish you got. Well, nobody sitting over there counting how many takeout plates you had. They took care of everybody. So basically what we doing is just carrying on tradition. We're just trying to do for our community what we saw our family do for the community, just in a different way. So it is pretty much just like about giving back. Just like what Bucket said, it's giving back through basketball. Yeah.
And y'all kind of have a connection, both point guards.
Point guards, He on one side of the city.
Yeah. And he's on the other side.
And I'm on the other side. Yeah.
And actually, like I said, Truman said, going back when we was working out during the summers, like I looked up to those guys. Like Truman, him and his brother Jamal, I looked up to them. I studied their game. I wanted to play just like them. You know what I mean? They brought it every time they stepped on the court. I was like, man, I wanted to be like them. You know what I mean? So that just added on to our bond. You know what I mean? And so it was all she wrote from there.
Yeah, like so for me, I came up under Corey Bailey. Corey Bailey was the one who developed a passion, not just for basketball, but it was just like a passion for his community, because he noticed at my time when we were kids, he noticed it was a void in the community. And it was like 8 to 10 kids, all of us was like the same age. Like he ain't do it for like recognition. He ain't get no props, no pat on the back. He just saw something. He was like, these is little boys around here, 8 to 12. I'm gonna give them something to do. So him and Donnie Simpster, it was always like basketball teams before us or whatnot. But for me, it was him and Donnie Simpster that came together. They added on to the Bethel Hill organization. He said, I'm gonna give these kids something to do. And not only did he give us a passion, he developed like lasting relationships amongst guys that I just met. If it wasn't for basketball, we might have been friends and cool because we was going to the same school. But like ball gave us like a common, you know what I'm saying, like a common ground where we could kind of connect. And we got a little closer because of that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was Corey Bailey and Donnie Simpster. And then just watching Big Ben, what he was doing and what he's still doing. Watching him, Mr. Chester Barnett, I seen Mr. Michael Elliott. Who else was it? Squirt J. Squirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all we doing is just carrying on tradition. We doing what we saw, you know what I'm saying, the guys before us, they laid a blueprint down for us, and all we doing is just taking what we saw, we're just taking it a step further. And like I said, this is Bucket's vision.
Yeah.
You gotta understand that. This is Bucket's vision to take it like as far as we taking it, like, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's just about teamwork, I think. You know what I mean? Like, it could be 10 or 15 people doing the same thing. But if everybody come together and put their minds together and put their skills together, it's just like a testament of how far we could take it if we work together. You know what I'm saying?
Like you mentioned, Ben Taborn, you working with him right now, right?
Yes, I'm currently, yeah. Yes, sir.
Did you play for him?
I played for Ben. And that was my first go around with AAU. Like I said, he introduced that to us and a lot of kids in our community. Because a lot of kids back then, we wasn't going out of town to play basketball. Ben made that possible for us, like I said, for me and a lot of kids coming up in Roxborough. And like I said, still to this day, he's still out there, you know what I mean? Wheelchair and all, he's going around picking up kids. If they got to come to practice, they need a ride, he's still doing that. And this 30-some years, like 35 plus years, man. And like, man, I tip my hat off to him, man, because like Ben, like I said, he kept us in it. And like I said, we wasn't going out of town playing basketball nowhere. He stayed on that. Like he make sure, if nothing else, he would make sure our kids were straight far as community wise. Like it was other people doing stuff, but as far as I know, when I was coming up, he was the only one that was like AAU, you know, travel ball and stuff like that or whatever. So that was major for us coming up, and it helped us develop a passion for basketball. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, we was my upbringing. I would say we're like a basketball family, like the Allens, because we like my Aunt Debbie. She was phenomenal. My Uncle Boo Boo William Turntine, he was phenomenal. My Uncle Charles Bug, you know, which is pretty much my mentor. You know, God rest his soul. Man, he built a court for us in his backyard, big half court back in his backyard for us, just so we could play basketball. And like I said, we grew up. It was maybe 8 of us boys. We was all right around the same age. Everybody had a passion for sports. We competed every day, you know what I mean? And just imagine you competing with your brothers and siblings and cousins and stuff every day.
On a dirt court.
On a dirt court.
Rocks.
And stuff, you know what I mean?
Richard Cameron, Terry Cameron, and Ivan Cameron, man, they had a dirt court, but it had like rocks on the court. It was like, spring won't a lot, but it was sprinkled, so it was a little gravel. So, you know, that make you...
Yeah. That's what they say. It help your handles.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Bouncing on rocks and dirt and stuff like that. So, man, it developed us into basketball players, man. Like it was great for us. It was great for us.
It's kind of like what you said, like what you might lack in one area is what you gain in another area. You just start getting a little more creative if you don't have as many, I guess, resources or money or whatever the case may be. You just get a little more creative in other areas. So it ain't really like a lack. And I think that's like with a lot of places where we lacked in and what we didn't have that big cities had, we kind of got creative in other areas. It kind of made us dogs for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a hard worker.
Yes, sir.
And whatever area, industry you choose to be in, it make you work harder.
We don't have a lot of gyms in Roxborough that we can just go to and just play, like a YMCA or something. Bushy Fork is pretty much what we had, I know, since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Coming here watching the older cats play and stuff like that. This is pretty much the only place that we can come and just play pickups or whatever. And I'm glad it's still here, actually, because it can give the kids that's coming up now a sense of what we had to deal with. A gym with no AC, is hot, you know what I mean? And just, it's just good basketball inside of there. It's great basketball inside of it when you step inside of there. It might not look much on the outside, but on the inside, this is, yeah, it's a hot box, but it's a great place for basketball. It's a great place for basketball.
It started, well, for me, like, before, like we said, it was dirt courts.
Dirt courts.
Yeah. If you couldn't get uptown or nowhere, or you could, cause you was young, you gotta catch a ride.
You gotta catch a ride.
You gotta catch a ride, man. Everybody
like I said, we were from the country. We was a long way from town, so it wasn't nobody. Oh, we just taking y'all, dropping y'all uptown, and go to the gym. None of that. None of that.
Because once they leave wherever they at,
they ain't coming back
out.
out.
Dog.
We ain't coming back out.
Yeah, man.
We ain't coming back out.
So it started with just playing on dirt courts.
Yeah. And
then it kind of like when you get a little older, and your cousin, like for me, my cousin, once he realized I could play a little bit, he let me come up here to Bushy Fork with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that was the first time you started talking about mentors. That was the first time I actually was around like older guys.
Mm-hmm.
You younger and you trying to make an impression on it. For me, it was Hunt and Icky.
Yep.
Icky was the first person. I think he might have got mad at me because I didn't switch a screen on Game Point and they won.
Yeah.
And that was the first time somebody like really got mad at me for real, just playing basketball. And I'm looking around like, but it make you tougher.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it make you aware of your surroundings because you out here by yourself and it ain't no security.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to talk because if you start talking crazy, look where you at. Who gonna save you?
Right.
For real.
Bunch of grown men.
It's a bunch of grown men in the middle, for real, in the middle of nowhere. You in Hurdle Mills, you in the middle of nowhere, so you really gotta watch how you talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it teach you a lot of respect. Like for real, you around people that you probably get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real, so it teach you respect. It teach you how to watch yourself, watch your surroundings. It's a lot of things that you learn from coming out playing in places like this.
Yeah.
That, you know, a lot of unspoken things that you can't, a lot of people might not be able to speak on unless they of that culture that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, man, it does more than just help you with basketball. It help you with life. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Being from somewhere like here.
Yep.
So I can go to New York City, I can go anywhere, and I know how to conduct myself.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I seen it go down at Bushy Fork before.
Just from the basketball
court. From the basketball court. And then, if you're gonna talk about basketball in Roxborough, you can't forget Ronnie Russell.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? He a legend in these parts.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh man, Ronnie Russell was different. He was like, you gotta understand where he came from, his generation. He was the first, his class was the first class that segregated in Roxborough, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So when you start talking about basketball journeys, it ain't just talking about basketball. You start talking about all type of history. It's the history lesson for real.
Yeah.
Like he was probably one of the winningest coaches from Person County. Yeah. And his focus was discipline. Like he was a different type of dude. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And at the time, and like when you, for those that like that knew him, when you kind of took his lessons and his teachings for granted. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like talking to your kids or whatnot. Yeah. They don't really understand what they're listening to. Yeah. But you take it for granted. But when I went away to college, I went to Livingstone College, and I'm looking at how different guys, like different people conduct themselves. I'm like, man, Coach Russell would have never let that go down like that. So he got his underwear showing. Yeah. Yo, man, Coach, man, he would have said something like, yes, sir. It ain't even going down like that. Or you just bringing the ball up and you the first person that shoot. He'd be like, oh, that's one. Yeah. He'd be like, what's one? You called your own play. That play, then that's one. You call one, that's your play. Ain't nobody else touch the ball. And then you start looking around like, okay, I get it. Yeah. I understand now. I'm 40. I'm 41 now. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that he was trying to tell me at 15, I was kind of rebelling against. I understand. Yeah. I get it. It makes sense now that I'm grown. It's like, I know what you was doing. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. And his offense was the flex.
Yeah.
Like he had a, you know what I'm saying? He taught the fundamentals of basketball.
Fundamentals of basketball.
You know what I'm saying? It start from the bottom, and then once you get nice at the little things like a pivot or a jump stop, that's when you start adding on everything else. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And not only that, Coach, I got to give a shout out to Coach Russell and Coach Dacus.
Coach Dacus too.
Yeah, Coach Dacus. I shout out to both of them because they were my high school coaches, mentors as well. Mentors, definitely mentors as well. But Coach Russell, man, he taught you. He was teaching you basketball, but he was teaching you life.
It was life lessons,
yeah. It was. Man, he was teaching you life. Like he would say something about, it would be basketball related, but at the same time, it would be some real life.
You could take it. It could translate.
You could take that basketball quote or whatever he said and transfer it into real life. And like that's been sticking with me ever since I've been out of high school, man.
Man, Coach Dacus, the reason I played basketball.
Yeah, Coach Dacus too.
Yeah. He the reason I played. I remember he got me in Greensboro College.
Yeah.
Coach Dacus. Yeah. And he took the time with me. He worked me out. I hadn't played ball in like 2 years. He worked me out, got me in shape. Like personally, he ain't had it wasn't no paycheck, it wasn't no money involved or attached to it. He just did it just off the love. Took me to Greensboro College, worked me out, set up the workout, sat down and watched it. And he gave me feedback, Truman, this is what you need to do. This is what you don't need to do. So I appreciate them. Coach Darkari Bryant. I still call him coach.
Yeah, we still call him.
He wasn't even my coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For real. He never really coached me, but
he's another mentor also and coach as well.
Role model. Like he wanted to do used to have to do push-ups or run if you cuss.
Yeah.
I never heard him cuss. Never. So it's like I could follow him. He tell me don't cuss. I'm like, all right, cause he not cussing. He ain't getting mad and just throwing no F-bombs out there, just saying something out the way. You know, he's just somebody that you can just model your life after. Yeah, and you could trust him. For real, he used to look out.
Definitely, Coach. Shout out to Coach Darkari Bryant.
Yeah,
he's definitely blowing my.
And Eric Hunt, man, I call him my OG. That's my basketball OG, man. Hunt. I love Hunt. Him, Icky, Tommy Torain, and who else? Big O. Yeah. Man, I don't know, man. We could do this all day. We be sitting out here, man.
All right, so More Buckets Academy. What made you start More Buckets Academy?
What made me start? Like I said, it really was a vision. Like, and I know me, I kind of procrastinate. I got a lot of stuff going on or whatever. But once I locked in and I focused on this, I mean, God pretty much did all the work. I mean, he moved me. I mean, he really moved me. You know what I mean? Everything that I wanted to do, I just did it. You know what I mean? Without no hesitation. I called Truman, I called Jerry, also Jerry Chambers. I would give a shout out to Jerry Chambers, Lamont King, Deontay Clemens. They also played basketball with us as well. David Newell also. Give a shout out to David Newell. They guys, I hit them up on the fly. Hey man, we'll be there. You know what I mean? And they came through, they helped out. And it was every clinic that we had so far, it's been phenomenal. You know what I mean? We got so much feedback, how great it was. And are we still gonna do this and stuff like that or whatever? So these guys really helped that vision come to life. But for the most part, God really moved me into doing this. Like really.
So what's the goal?
My ultimate goal is to, let me see how I want to put this. Keep kids active in sports, education-wise. You know, if I can reach out to some resources that I have. Hey, look at this guy, you know, from Roxborough. You know, try to get these guys scholarships. Basically, just being a mentor to them. And basically giving them stuff that I never had, like personal trainers to enhance my game while I'm in high school, to get me to another level. Like we never had that. We never had that. And like I said, my son, he plays travel ball now. And I see these kids at 4th, 5th grade, their skills are like really high level. You know, they personal trainers every week and stuff like that. So that kind of moved me to also, hey, let's bring this back to Person County because it's much needed. It's much needed. Like I said, because these kids, they don't have that. We don't have that around here. So I just, hey, this is what we need. You know what I mean? It's just something that we need. Basically, we want to teach them everything as far as basketball, on and off the court, on and off the court. But basically, as far as just skill work, we do dribbling, shooting, defense, cone work, you know, we just keep it real basic because a lot of kids, they look at these highlight videos and y'all just looking at the good, you know what I mean? YouTube and stuff like that. So y'all just looking at the good. Y'all not looking at the work that they putting in to make these highlights. So we want to pinpoint on that, you know what I mean? It's hard work. It's hard work, and that's our main focus. That's our main focus.
His family, the first people that you see when you walk up for registration, you're gonna see his wife. It might be his wife, her best friend, his wife, his aunt, his little cousins behind the table. The little cousins, they on the side. And you walk in, you might see his dad walking around. You might see some more cousins out there. You're gonna see they little cousins, they out there playing. It's a whole family thing.
It's a family thing.
Like you gotta understand what it's really is just carrying on tradition. It's a family thing. The way his family, they might do it a little different. Like the ladies in the family, they might cook, and that's their way of giving back. You know what I'm saying? His way of giving back is through basketball, but it starts with the family. You see his family first.
I want to get a shout out to my father, Clyde Glass, Pastor Clyde Glass of Old Mount Zion Baptist Church. Man, he's been an inspiration for us this journey also, helping me with that. My wife, Laquita Allen, she's been my secretary since day one, but with this More Buckets thing, she's been really hands-on, flyers, making sure I'm on top of my things and stuff like that. I give a shout out to her. And Darius McGee, man, shout out to him, man. Like he's done something phenomenal for the city of Roxbury, whether he knows it or not. Like that's all these kids talk about, man. Like Darius McGee, you know what I mean? That's my nephew. That's my nephew, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, he's part of the basketball family, you know what I mean? So shout out to Darius McGee because I think he done started something. I think he's done started something, man. You know what I mean? Because like the kids from Roxbury, they say, oh, Darius, you know, they been in the gym with him. You know, and for them to see him on TV playing on the NBA level, that's the inspiration, man. That's the inspiration to these kids. And man, yeah, shout out to Darius McGee.